All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Here today to discuss about Impact Wrestling Sacrifice 2021 pay-per-view / Impact Plus special event, whichever way you want to look at it. I didn't catch it on Saturday night simply because of the fact that the Impact Plus app was going down every time I tried to attempt to watch it. And I didn't feel like watching it Sunday night. So I said to myself, why not? Monday ain't got any good wrestling on outside of AEW Dark Elevation, but it's not really any storylines being built up. But then again, maybe I'm wrong. So if that's the case and I find out about that, I'll definitely start reviewing that show every Monday night instead of Monday Night Raw. Because there ain't nothing raw about WWE on Monday night anyway. So, this was a fun pay-per-view. I actually enjoyed watching some of it. Some of it I did not. Some of it didn't even really belong on the card. It could have been on Impact. The world title match, the unification world title match was great. Excellent work by both Rich Swann and Moose. A surprise title change took place with the tag team titles. Good Brothers lost to Juice Robinson and David Finlay from New Japan Wrestling. So that is quite interesting that they switched the titles there. I didn't figure they were going to do something like that. The Knockouts Women's Championship match, didn't care for that too much. I'll get into that with you guys, giving you guys the results. Ace Austin, TJP for the X Division title. Very good matchup. Entertaining shit. The Women's Tag Team Championship match, don't fucking care. Who gives a shit? But let's go into the card. I'll give you guys the results. If you guys haven't even seen the event, get ready for the results and spare yourselves the time of watching this 3-hour event. Unless you really want to go watch it, because I would recommend it. It is fun. There's some matches that I would skip. I will mention the matches to skip if you decide to go back. The ones that you don't want to skip, I will definitely tell you to actually watch, of course. DK had Black Taurus and Crazy Steve with Rosemary defeating Reno Scum. It was a good start to the show, an opener, but it really didn't belong on this card. I got to admit. This match could have been saved for, fucking Impact. We could have had, Sami Callihan and Trey Miguel on here. One of these matches could have been replaced. I didn't find this match to be needed. Though it was a good opener, I didn't have a problem with it. I didn't really care for it. We then had Tennille Dashwood and Caleb with a K defeating Havoc and Neva. I didn't care for this match whatsoever. This match could have been on Impact Wrestling. If you're going to go back and watch this, skip this match. This ain't even worth your fucking time. Violent by Design. Diener and Joe Doring with Eric Young defeated Chris Sabin and James Storm. This was a decent match. Not bad. I think this match belonged on the card. Going back to the other two matches, I'll give you guys my ratings on it. The Decay versus Reno Scum, I'm giving that match a 3 out of 5 stars because it was a decent way to opening up the show. Tennille Dashwood and Caleb with a K defeating Havoc and Neva, I am giving that a 2 out of 5 stars. Fucking boring, pathetic match. I didn't even pay attention to it. Violent by Design defeating Chris Sabin and James Storm. Again, like I said, this was a good matchup. It belonged on the card. And the other thing that really blew me away and made no sense, actually, was Rhino joining with Violent by Design with Eric Young. Supposedly the announcers, D'Lo Brown and Matt Stryker, made mention that Rhino was taken out of commission, technically, and by Eric Young and his group, which I didn't know because I probably wasn't watching the show then at that point in time when they did this. And he's now joined with Eric Young. Somehow, someway, Eric Young's got this magical ability to, alter people's minds and basically, I guess, make them his own personal puppet. I have no idea. But yeah, Rhino helped Eric Young's team to win this matchup, and that was that. This match, I'm going to say it's a 3 out of 5 stars as well. It was average. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't that great either. Eddie Edwards defeated Brian Myers in a hold harmless match, which is a hardcore matchup, and Eddie Edwards wins this matchup. This was a good matchup, I actually have to say. It had Matt Cordova show up during the match. Hernandez actually showed up because Brian Myers has been paying him off to do some services and getting some work done on some people and kicking some people's asses. So, yeah, this match, I'm definitely giving a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Definitely well worth it. It's a good matchup, and it definitely belonged on the pay-per-view. This matchup I definitely would recommend. Fire and Flava, Kara Hogan, and Tasha Steelz defeating Jordan Grace and Jazz. I was not surprised by this for the Impact Tag Team titles for the women's division. This was a terrible fucking match. I didn't even care for this. I technically skipped it. I really don't like Jazz, what she's been doing in the ring. She's old. She's out of shape. She's not the way she used to. And I got to admit, this is a match worth skipping. 2 out of 5 stars, and I'm just being generous. Ace Austin defeated TJP for the X Division Championship. This matchup, I'm giving it a 4 out of 5 stars. I mean, this match was pretty fucking good. One of the better matches on this card outside of the World Heavyweight Championship match. Shit. These guys did everything in the ring, nothing surprising. I hope to see Ace Austin and Chris Bay go at it one-on-one for the X Division title on April 24th at Rebellion on pay-per-view. That match belongs on pay-per-view, guaranteed, along with the world title match that's going to take place with the AEW World title and the Impact World Championship. Definitely a match that needs to be on that card. Most definitely. And it will make sense too because Chris Bay beat Ace Austin in a one-on-one match in their go-home show before Ace Austin got his world title match for the X Division Championship. Sorry I said world title match, but you get what I mean, in their X Division. But yeah, Ace Austin wins this matchup 4 out of 5 stars. Easy, with no problem. Deonna Purrazzo defeated ODB in a submission match in less than 10 minutes. Didn't give a fuck about this match, folks. This was crap. ODB does not belong in the ring. Jazz does not belong in the ring. What is Impact Wrestling doing with the women's division, having all these old women that used to be there in their prime performing still? We all know ODB is not going to win a fucking Impact World Championship for the women's division, and we know Jazz ain't going to be able to do that either. So why put him in the freaking match? Same difference with Edge. Edge ain't going to be able to defend his... if he wins the Universal title, how is he going to defend it month to month? They're going to make him lose the title the next month after he beat the world champion? It's stupid. It's fucking dumb. But hey, what are you going to do? This match I'm definitely recommending a skip. It's a 2 out of 5 stars. Easy. The Impact Tag Team titles. FinJuice, David Finlay, and Juice Robinson defeated the Good Brothers, Doc Gallows, and Carl Anderson. This was a good tag team matchup. Very entertaining and a very surprising ending. I couldn't believe that they went with Juice Robinson and David Finlay. This was extremely surprising. I'm giving it a 4 out of 5 stars. The action was average, but the ending was just so surprising. It was mind-boggling. And you got to give it up for D'Lo Brown and Matt Striker in their commentary during this matchup. I paid very close attention to their commentary for some strange reason, because they were really sounding like legit analysts that were telling the backstory of Carl Anderson, Doc Gallows, together in New Japan Wrestling, along with David Robinson and David Finlay and Juice Robinson. Excuse me to get the first and last names mixed up together. Juice Robinson and David Finlay and their history together performing in New Japan Wrestling, which I thought was great. But the one thing that they kind of slipped up on was the fact that Juice Robinson and David Finlay were not tag team partners at the time. They were talking about, did they ever pay attention to how well they performed together in New Japan Wrestling? Because, I mean, if you're the top dog in your promotion and whatnot, you're not always going to sit down and watch every single match. You got other responsibilities to deal with, such as like conference meetings, promoting a match with someone that you're going up against, what have you. I mean, they do like a one of those a conference press with a wrestler who just finished a match and actually go over the match and ask them their opinions and talk to them about that. That's what they do in New Japan Wrestling after a big matchup that someone had. So it's a really good stuff that they threw in there. But the problem with it is that the history doesn't add up. That's where they kind of fucked up with. Now, if they're mentioning about sitting back and watching those guys perform individually, I guess that would work. But they didn't exactly, say anything in that kind of sense. They were talking more like they were a tag team, in which case those guys were not tag team partners, while Doc Gallows, I keep saying Duke, Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson were in New Japan Wrestling, because they left in 2015 with AJ Styles, which was probably the biggest mistake of their fucking lives, because they didn't do nothing for the next, 5 years, pretty much. So that is pretty much the situation with that, what they were talking about. They also talked about strategies and what they were doing in the middle of the ring. D'Lo Brown even mentions that fucking the Good Brothers shouldn't even be concerned or worried about this. This is something they should have in the bag since they've been tag team partners for so long. And Matt Striker goes on to say, he says, wait a second, you don't think these guys have a shot at winning their tag team titles? That's a really dumb way of thinking. That could really cost them in the end if they think like that. He says, well, I'm not saying that they can't win, but I'm just saying they have a better chance at winning since they've been a team for so long. And unfortunately, that was not the case. Like I said, David Finlay and Juice Robinson win the matchup and become the new tag team champions, which, again, was shocking. I'm surprised they changed the titles and put it on the Finn Juice. I don't understand how that happened, but hey, I mean, congratulations to them. They haven't had a lot of title reigns as a tag team, so hopefully they do a good job in Impact Wrestling and get some prestige behind that championship and get some notoriety for themselves. So congratulations to them, and I guess you could say it was a good move by Impact Wrestling to do that. Then again, I mean, you got fucking Kenny Omega as the world champion on AEW, and now it's looking like he may become the Impact world champion as well. So you never know. More than likely that's going to happen. There ain't no fucking way that he's going to lose the title to the winner of this match, which was Rich Swann against Moose for the Impact World Championship and the TNA World title. I was a bit upset. I knew that Rich Swann was going to win. I really had a good feeling he was going to win regardless. And it's only because of Moose being a heel that he was going to win. I don't think Rich Swann would have won the match if it wasn't for the fact that Moose was a heel, or if the AEW World title wasn't on the line next month. This title belongs to Moose. Really, I believe that Moose deserves to become world champion, but the match with Rich Swann and Kenny Omega will be a great matchup. I guarantee you that. Not to mention, Rich Swann needs a little bit revenge on Kenny Omega, even though he's not going to get that. But at the end of the day, guys, I was a little upset and disappointed because Moose performed at a very, very high level with Rich Swann. This was pay-per-view quality. This was main event quality work that these two guys did. And I was, looking at Moose, and I saw the way he was. He was jacked. He looked fucking ripped and been working out, getting a little bit stronger. He doesn't look like he's taking steroids or anything. He looked like he naturally got bulked up. And, I mean, there's nothing traumatically changed about the guy. He's just got a little bit more muscle on him. Nothing that would make you say, oh, that guy's on steroids. But he looks really fit, and he looks good. And he performed in this ring Saturday night like nobody's business. Probably one of the best matches I've seen Moose ever perform in. Usually his matches to me are a little bit dull, kind of slow. This match wasn't. Rich Swann brought out the best in Moose. And I've seen Moose have other good matches before too. Austin Aries was another good match he had that he should have won possibly. I mean, at that time, Austin Aries was at the top of his game, and, I was okay then. Now I'm a little bit concerned why they haven't given Moose a world title run in this company, because he's been very loyal to Impact Wrestling for a very, very long time. And for him not to get at least one world championship reign in this company really surprises me. But I do understand that the point of their point of why they didn't make him champion is because, one, his world title reign wouldn't last that very long. His world title reign would last a month, and then he'd lose it to fucking Kenny Omega, because Kenny Omega's winning that fucking title, that Impact World title, and then retaining his AEW World Championship too. So we're having like a mixture of AEW takeover into Impact Wrestling type of thing going on here, which I'm okay with as long as they do a good job with it and make sense of it. But I really feel bad for Moose. I think Moose deserves to become a world champion at some point this year, because he's earned it, especially after this matchup. My God, he was fucking amazing in this match. And Rich Swann, of course, was really good as well. I mean, you If you don't like Rich Swann's in-ring work, you're fucking crazy. The guy's a great wrestler. Is he anybody that's going to stand out in the wrestling world? Probably not. Moose is not exactly what you call a great promo guy. He's not exactly that entertaining. He's kind of dull, like me. Yeah. But personally, I think Moose is a great wrestler. I think he's been very loyal, and I think he deserves to have a run with the world title in Impact Wrestling soon. At least sometime this year. I would probably crown him the world champion at Bound for Glory. That would be the best place to do it at this point, and just help him, keep him on a winning streak despite this one loss he just obtained here at Saturday night pay-per-view event that he had. But overall, I thought the match was great. 4.5 out of 5 stars. Excellent matchup. I really have no complaints with this match whatsoever, and definitely a main event type matchup for a pay-per-view. This could have been on Rebellion if you really wanted to do that too. I think people would have paid money to see this matchup. This was a good matchup and a lot of fun to watch. It was 20 minutes. They put a lot of work into it. And again, Moose did an excellent job in this matchup. Kudos to him. Kudos to Rich Swann as well. Both of these guys did great. Pay-per-view was all right. I enjoyed it for what it was. So at this time, guys, you know what to do. Hit the like button if you like the video. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. And leave a comment down below. And I'll definitely get back to you on that. And I thank you very much for watching. Have a great night, guys. Bye.